Hi guys, today first Happy New Year everyone. Happy New Year full of interesting fans, teardowns and so on, I hope. So today we will have a look at this thing. It is a plug-in module for a big Soviet system, maybe a radar system, or I don't know in fact. I got it on eBay a few years ago for a very little price. It was like 5 euros or something like this onto German eBay, and I was quite pleased when receiving it because it turned to be in very good condition, except, excuse me, for one mixing screw here, but luckily enough I did find in my stock quite a similar screw. So we have this front plate that screw in into a bigger assembly with two pull handles. We have a few lights. This one is for signal. I do not know the translation for the other ones. We have a big, very clicky knob here. And we have a calibration potentiometer here. So here is what it looks on the front side. Here is the left side, nothing to see, just a cover that we will remove. Back side, we have guide pins to help when inserting it into its main assembly. We have a backing plate, and here are the goodies. So we have in this set of circuit boards of how many models? So these 4 ones are quite similar. Here we have 2 similar ones, one different one here. The front assembly with some resistors and so on, and it is all in fact. So the frame of the thing is made of very serious die-cast metal pieces, as you can see. So it is interesting to note this PCB retaining parts screwed in place with a little V shape holding the PCBs in place. Okay, so we will first have a look at the PCBs. Okay, so first I will remove, let's start with this one. So the interesting thing with these retaining parts, you just have to unscrew a little bit and you can turn them around so they are not in the way, but you do not lose them. So by the way, it is really an expensive thing to do the way to do the job, but still interesting. Here on this PCB we have some kind of pull handle you can try to use, but it is still pretty hard to remove. Here we are. So what do we have in here? Let me try to zoom in for you, like so. So we have the board-to-board connector here, electrolytic capacitors. We have a bunch of these cans. They are round ICs. You can see the manufacturer logo here, quite interesting. Not sure if you will see it very well, but it is worth having a look at this. We have ceramic capacitors Here it is one foil capacitor, probably aluminum foil capacitor. Here is the back side of it. You can see the very heavy conformal coating. Again, glass body diodes. One thing to note is how these electrolytic capacitors are clamped onto the PCB with a metal bracket soldered in place. So this is really nice. Here we have holes for helping to pull the PCB, and we have what seems to be test points. So this was the first one. I will reinsert it in place quickly. So one difficult thing is to match correctly the PCB, the correct slots here in the sides. It is not really easy. So next one. What do we have in here? They are not easy to remove. Well, I have seen harder, but here we just have resistors, transistors, metal can transistors, this long capacitor with nice logo here. Maybe I will try to use my USB microscope and make some close up on the logos for you. It will be interesting. And the glass body diodes again. Okay, I will not reinsert it completely because I will do the macros. So this one is exactly the same. On these PCBs here, so we have 4 of them, but they are all almost the same, so I will only remove 2, I guess. They all look the same. On the side here we have what seems to be some row of test points in this plastic piece. So will it come off? Yes. So by the way, you can see here they did write the board number, the board letters. So you can, when you reinsert the board, you know where you have to put it. Try not to break anything. So there is also this one. Here we are. Okay. So here, as you can see, mainly small surface mount clips, ceramic metal bodies. I will do macro view with a USB microscope for you on the different numbers of the clips on the manufacturer logos. This one is the same stuff exactly. And yes, here we have a number of contacts. And this part with the holes here allow probably to insert some probe inside, some wire or some probe to make contact and test various signals on the PCB. Okay, now we will have a macro view on the components, on the logos, factory logos on them because they're interesting. So first zoom for you on one of the components, this round IC with 12 pins, it seems, all around. As you can see, we have the on the top the manufacturer logo here. Looks like some alien flying saucer, something like this. We have the model number of the part 140 Cyrillic Y, Cyrillic D2, and the date code 8708. And this other thing here, this shape must be some quality military acceptance stamp, something like this. So here is the first part for you. I think it is the first time I can zoom so much onto a Soviet manufacturer logo, so this is interesting. So the other ICs on the PCB are exactly the same. There are other parts with logo, but as they are not flat on the PCB, it will not allow me to zoom on them easily with a USB microscope. So let's go to the next one. So here on this transistor QT306A we have the Svetlana factory logo. It is a C, but in Cyrillic the C is S in fact, and it is the first word of Svetlana factory, which was very famous for making transistors, semiconductors, vacuum tubes, and maybe also assembled products as radios. It is possible. And one other interesting, so first I'm checking if all the transistors on the PCB are the same manufacturer logo. Yes. So here we have another one on the capacitor. It will be a little sideways for you, but let's try to focus it. So this is also totally alien looking, almost looks like Falcon Millennium. I do not know the name for this factory, but there are some internet websites where you can find a list of logos and corresponding manufacturing companies, names and locations also. So this is a quite cute one. There are another one on the side of the diode here, but it is very tiny. As you can see, it is this thing here. We try to focus it like so. It's very shiny, this part. This thing is also manufacturer logo. And I don't see anyone on the resistors. Okay, let's go to the next PCB. So here is one of the surface mount ICs. In fact, I did check, they are all exactly the same model. So I can remove the LED. In fact, there is a ring of LED lights in the USB microscope, but they are really annoying because they make a lot of reflections. So it is better to remove them completely. So here is one of the ICs, they are all exactly the same. So we have a model number. Here the factory logo, I guess the name of this factory was Transistor, if I remember correctly. And also the square kind of military stamp here. You can see the golden legs with for the contacts, the legs of the parts with gold plating on them. And you can see on the side, in fact, the ceramic body with the soldered on cover on it, like so. It is interesting. What do we have else? In fact, all the LCs are the same, but here we have a nice logo on this connector. Let me do the focus like so. So we have a number. We have OTK, it is a quality approval stamp, something like this. We have a manufacturer logo. Looks like some kind of tower in the sun or something like this. We have a model number, very long model number, and we have the date code. So this is interesting. And what is missing, guys? of course at the end here the military stamp. You can see the how it is made, very shiny this thing. Okay, so let's now go back to the remaining parts of the main assembly. Back to the main assembly. Here we have a view of what we have at the rear side of the front panel. So you can see terminal boards with precision resistors, the main the switch, rotary switch, and a little potentiometer. You can see the bulbs, the lights have these Amberton sockets. So one thing about Russian resistors, when the end caps on the resistors are metal colored, they are precision ones. It is a way to tell. You can see the wire harness here wrapped in some piece of sticky fabric. Quite a nasty thing, in fact. You can see here we have a rubber seal around the front plate. Interesting. And on the back of the thing we just have a wiring going to the main to the connector, back to the connector. Two electrolytic capacitors clamped very seriously clamped in place, as you can see. They are not going anywhere. And these big guide pins with big bolts. They must be 13 millimeters, I guess, 12 or 14 millimeters. Okay, now we will have a look to the wiring harness of the thing. In fact, the wiring harness interconnecting all the PCBs is here on the back side, behind the metal plate. Okay, I did remove the screws. And if I lift this cover, here is what we have. As you can see, very tidy wiring. I have some issues here. I can see it is a little moldy. It is really an issue with Soviet electronics. They don't like moisture at all, and you have some mold that can grow on, in particular on this insulating wire looms, wrapping things. They make small, very thin white wires, fluffy thing growing on the parts, and it is annoying. Okay, so as you can see, we have a very neat wiring harness distributed here to all the card sockets. We have a mounting support plate here, screwed in place in the side parts. Here we have to what seems to be some kind of terminal power distribution rail. In fact, it seems we have red and black wires going to it, and I believe I did never remove it. In fact, maybe I can try to remove it in order to see if we can get a better clue of what it is. I guess it is just a power distribution bus bar, yes. There is a number written here, and it is just 2 rows of contacts. So I do not know if we have what seems to be 3. Yes, they are at 3 different levels on this piece. I'm not sure if you will be able to see, but there are 3 levels of the contacts are distributed at 3 levels. So it will be interesting to test with a multimeter if everything is connected together, or if it is just more point to point. So as you can see, some of them are not used here. No, we have no contact here. No, we have no contact, no contact. Here we have a contact. Here no. Here we have a contact, and here we have a contact, yes. So we have 3 layers of contacts distributed. So if I take this one and I go here, we have contact. Here also, yes. So there are 3 different bus bars in this. Each level corresponds to one different bus bars all the way along. Okay. So it would be all for this thing. Now I just need to reassemble it. I hope you did enjoy this piece of very seriously made Soviet equipment. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.